Hello everybody, this is Prue and this is a video all about the new moon that's happening tomorrow evening. Now, I'm just really aware that the sun is really bright outside my window. I almost feel like I need sunglasses, and I definitely feel like I shouldn't be complaining about the sun coming in. But if my eyes look like they're kind of squinting, it's just really because it feels like there's a really strong glare coming in through the window. But that's a really great sign, isn't it? It's always lovely to have some sunshine coming in and that gorgeous warmth that it brings. So tomorrow evening at 6:59 p.m, Tuesday the 11th of May, we have a new moon. So new moons are all about new beginnings. This is a chance to set in motion a new behavior, to think about what are your goals, where do you want to get to, and what seeds do you want to plant. Now, I can really appreciate that, in this time that we live in, where life is very busy and we live in a time of electricity, so we don't always have such a strong connection to the planets that are above us. And I always find it really interesting to think that, it was like 100 years ago that, we all started getting used to having electricity in our homes, that it was really the late 1920s. But before that, our ancestors would have lived their life so much more in tune with the moon, because it would have very much influenced their activity. So when we think about a dark moon, that's a new moon. So a new moon is there's no moon in the sky. We would look up and it'd be dark and you think, oh, where's the moon? I just can't see it. So it's a time that our ancestors wouldn't have been able to do very much activities. They would have been much more reflective, probably had an early night, listened to their dreams more, much quieter. And then we have 2 weeks where the moon waxes, the moon gets bigger, grows. It's time for building, fortifying, and then it peaks with the full moon, where there's loads of moonlight in the sky. There's more opportunity for activities, socializing. So if we just think about, what would we naturally, if we weren't able to flick that light switch, what would we naturally be doing? Well, we'd be having more of a quieter time. So this is a really powerful time to reflect. And it's really a powerful time to reflect on Taurian themes, because this new moon is in Taurus. So what is the sign Taurus all about? Well, it's an earth sign. So earth signs are much more interested in practical realities. They like things that are tangible, that they can hold, that almost have form and have some sort of sense of being a bit solid. And Taurus is a fixed earth sign, so it likes security. It likes to feel grounded. It almost likes to know where it is. So if we think about Taurus, is very much connected to values. What's important to us? Are we living in alignment with our values? It's also connected to earth, the physical. It's also connected to our body. So, what can we touch? And also money. So it's interesting to think, these themes are really worth exploring in this time of the new moon, and to really think about, are there some new intentions that I want to set right now? What seeds do I want to sow? And then to think in 6 months' time, when we have a full moon in Taurus, we can really look at what have we created, what have we manifested, what seeds did we put in the ground, and how have they grown? Because, this would be happening anyway, whether we were aware of this new moon or not, or whether we were aware in 6 months we're going to have a full moon connected to this new moon. So it's great to have this conscious awareness and to sort of check in and to think, yeah, this is what I want more of. This is what I want to get the ball rolling in these areas of your life. So if we think about, what would be a really great way to make the most of a Taurus new moon, it's very much creating a ritual that feels right for you. Now, it's an earth sign, so it might be something connected to earth. You might want to write, an intention, or do some journaling. You might want to bury something in the ground. You might want to create a dream journal, which is like set an intention before you go to sleep, and then, as soon as you wake up, have some paper by the bed and write down any messages you got. It's just interesting to remember that Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is the planet which is connected to love, harmony, pleasure, balance, justice, fairness. So it's interesting that there's a Venus energy but she's an earthy Venus energy, connected to Taurus, which is also represented by the bull. So bulls tend to be kind of laid back, chilled out until they're riled up, then they can really kind of get going. You really, a red rag to a bull. So there is a lot of strength and perseverance with this new moon cycle, but it's a sense of being able to be more relaxed in some way, to actually take this time not to feel rushed, to look at what's going to bring you more pleasure in life. And it was really interesting because I've got these oracle cards which are called Queen of the Moon Cycle, and I love looking at them. I always think it's really interesting to look at the pictures and how this Stacey DeMarco, how she would represent the different stages of the moon cycle. When I was thinking about this new moon in Taurus, the card that came up was pleasure. And it's actually under a full moon, not a new moon, but, that's okay. So it's a really interesting time to think about what brings you pleasure and how much pleasure are you having in your life. Let's be realistic. It's been an incredibly unfamiliar year, hasn't it? So actually, this is a really wonderful sort of stop in many ways. Think about this cycle, about, this next month ahead. We've got Taurus themes, at our fingertips. We can really think about, the money, we can think about our body, and we can also think about our connection to our values, but also in a way that brings more pleasure into our life. We don't want to do this in a very rigid way of almost like, yes, I'm going to do this and that. And actually, because Venus likes the sensual, the touch of life. So think about how you can integrate more of that into your life and how you want to mark your intention. There are so many different ways that you can create a ritual and honouring, and it's really about making this personal for you. This isn't a one size fits all. This is very much our own personal journey with the moon. So I'm wishing you a wonderful new beginning. This is a new chapter. This is about the tangible, the realistic aspects of life, and thinking about what is important, what brings you pleasure, and what balls do you want to set rolling. Take care.